What's going on, late night family? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Late Night Conversations with Unc and Nephew. To my left, we got my co-host,
JR.
And it's your boy, King J, and we're back with another exciting episode.
I'm ready.
We got a good episode for y'all today, man. We actually got, well, for me on my side,
right.
I got a creepypasta short story.
I can't wait.
Because we're still selling, all month long. It's spooky season.
Right.
And so we might be giving y'all good stories all month. We might switch off back and forth and exchange some good horror stories for the year.
Over this month,
and then
something that
true
get
crime.
your blood boiling, or your hair is tingled up.
Something that you can crawl into bed, cut your lights off, pull the covers up, and just
listen.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
We've been getting some comments about. Oh, I always listen to y'all's podcast at night and I get scared. That last story was pretty cool, man. And tonight I got a good one called The Russian Sleep Experiment.
I've heard about it, man. But
you heard about it?
I looked into it a little bit, but I think I don't really know what actually happened.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into it a little bit later. But before we do all that, man, a little bit of banner for us because I ain't seen you all week, man. How's your week been, huh?
It's been good, man. I just been at work every day, and
anything exciting happen?
I don't want to say exciting, but I want to say it was we have hope for humanity.
Really?
Yeah.
Hope for humanity.
I have a coworker. Him and his wife went on vacation this past week. As a matter of fact, last Saturday they went on a little 2-day vacation, to get away from Plainview, and they took their kids. They got three grown kids, and they were out there and doing their thing. And on the way back, one of their kids lost his wallet.
Oh, damn!
He had his license, Social Security, and $250 cash.
Oh, damn!
That's sickening, right, man? When
Because have you ever you be in line? Or you be just somewhere and you reach for your wallet, ain't there? That little, man, dog. Hey, it's in the shiver down your spine.
That's how he was. He was on the way back home and he was like, "Mom, I lost my wallet." Oh, she was like, "What?" But like I said, hope for humanity, because you lose your wallet, you pretty much, you ain't getting it back.
Yeah,
So they got back Saturday, Sunday night, one of those days, and we went to work Monday morning, and she was telling me about it, and her husband were telling me about it, and they were pretty bummed out, And I said, well, you never know, praise God that he's healthy and everything, but $250 can be replaced.
Yeah.
Well, Thursday morning she came to work. Wednesday when she got home, her son says, "Look, wallet."
Oh, man.
And the money.
In the mail?
In the mail.
Oh, yes, sir.
Somebody found it there where he lost it at one of the convenience stores. And some lady, and I don't remember her name, but she mailed it, dude. She mailed it back to the address on the license. Social Security, everything was in there. Minus $20. She said she left a note in there saying, "I'm sorry that I spent $20, but I used that to mail it back to you."
Right.
And it came from by Dallas,
Hell yeah.
Grand Prairie, around that area. And
shoot, that's a little bit away.
That's why I say, hope for humanity, because there's people out there, good people, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say I don't know what I would do if I found $250 that I could use, or my kids.
Depends on what state you're in,
right.
Damn.
It depends.
You caught up on your bills, yeah. He might just get the wallet back.
Yeah, exactly, just the wallet. Hey, at least something. No, I don't know. I'm probably. Yeah. I think I turn it in. I mean, you hear it all the time. People finding bags of money and stuff. Turning them into the police, and I know that if nobody recovers it or asks for it within so much time, you can have it. But
right. But that's good though, man. I mean, I feel like the majority of people would do the right thing. The majority, right. But there is people who would have just kept everything, or whatever,
or thrown it away and just kept the money.
But shoot, I've been in that situation where one time, when I was working at Walmart, the store, I had went to you know, man, always had stomach problems. My stomach be jacked up. And I guess one time I went to go use the bathroom, you know, and I went and sat down or whatever. And I guess the way my pants went down, my wallet flipped out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And man, all day I guess I don't know why I didn't. I guess I didn't need it or whatever, but I didn't realize it was gone.
I'm always constantly checking mine.
Yeah, I just was working, you know what I mean? And then I just happened to reach back like, oh, where's my wallet? And somebody turned it in. Oh, you know what I mean? To the front desk, you know. Okay. So, and I know how it feels to be the person like
to lose it.
Yeah, to lose it, like
not know if you're gonna get it back.
Not know if you're gonna get it back. I had cash in there. I got all my credit cards, my debit. You know, I got everything in there. Yeah. My socials in there. Yeah.
Women have purses. We have wallets. You know.
Exactly. So, and so we know how it feels to be on that side. Right. And I feel like you said, there's hope for humanity. I feel like the majority of people would do the right thing. Right. But there is some people out there that are.
Well, I mean, you're always gonna find those.
Gotcha, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
To be like, he needs some milk.
Yeah. No. Help, he needs some milk. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know, but that I think that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Shoot, I had a pretty crazy week, man. Right. All my decorations are here.
Oh, dude.
Everything set up. Did you see it when you came in? Dog.
Hey. He's got a little graveyard with the half skeleton coming out.
Yeah, he's coming out the dirt.
Yeah, every time you say something, he's you know.
Yeah, man. Did you see my spider web out there?
I did, man. I did. It's nice. It comes from the top of the roof all the way down to the front of your sidewalk.
To the sidewalk, yeah.
It's not straight down.
It's like 25 feet. Yeah. You got a big old spider up there. Yeah. And I just bought that black light, so it's supposed to shine in black light.
It's nice, man. It's nice.
I love Halloween, bro.
If y'all know Harvey, drive by and check it out. He did a good job.
Yeah. I pull up, man, and I'm going to be handing out candy this year, so y'all pull up. Let's dive in today, man. It's spooky season, and I got a good story for you, huh? Oh, I got a good story for you. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back at it.
All right.
Back again. Let's get it, man. I got a good story for you.
Let's go, nephew.
I got a good story for you tonight, man. Called the Russian sleep experiment.
Right.
I know you said you had heard of it before, right?
I didn't ever look it up. I know there was some things that were done to these people to keep them awake, and it wasn't.
Yeah. So you're on the right track.
Yeah.
So it's one of the most widely regarded creepypastas ever written. Okay. You know, it's a short story, good story for Halloween. And so, yeah, you're right, man. It's about around World War II. They did an experiment on some soldiers.
Okay. And this was where?
In Russia.
In Russia.
Yeah, in Russia. They actually did some experiments on their soldiers, because what they were trying to do was they were trying to feed them a gas that kept them awake, so they could be Hitler wanted to be a powerhouse, man. So he was like, man, I don't even want my soldiers to sleep. I want them to,
just keep fighting.
Yeah, but we're gonna figure out why that went
wrong. Keep unaliving people.
All right, let's get to it, though.
Okay, hold on. Hitler was in Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations.
Okay.
This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and a 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and a toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II.
Okay.
Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test, and they did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversations took on a deeper aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about circumstances and events that led them to where they were, and started to demonstrate severe paranoia.
Okay.
They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones. Oh, they also had one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them.
Right.
At first, the researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber, repeatedly yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight.
Dude.
They continued attempting to scream, but he was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it.
Right.
Or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The two non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes.
Wow.
The screaming promptly stopped. So, also did the whispering into the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming out with 5 people in.
So quiet.
The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives.
Right.
They were afraid they were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lay flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase and a calm voice response: "We no longer want to be freed."
Oh, shit.
Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphone began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of a loved one, to turn the gas back on.
Oh my goodness.
The chamber was opened and the soldier sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside.
Oh man.
4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state they were in alive. The food rations past day 5 had not been as much touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Precisely of how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth, as the researchers initially thought.
What?
Closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all, were self-inflicted.
Wow.
The abdominal organs below the rib cage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, while the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage.
Man, that's terrible.
All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen working and digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of the days.
That's insane, man.
Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still, many refused to return to the chamber to remove the subjects.
Wow.
They continued to scream to be left in the chamber, and alternate begged and demanded the gas be turned back on lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives, if you count ones that committed suicide in the following weeks.
These were the ones that were going in after him.
Yep,
wow.
to retrieve him. In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one of the doctors. When the heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out to the point there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the word, more, over and over, weaker and weaker until he finally fell silent.
That's crazy.
The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints. When the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under, he managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier was holding that wrist as well. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had triple the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to the skeleton were badly torn. He had broken 9 bones in his struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force of his own muscles had exerted on him. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed. He was unable to beg or object to surgery and was only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when somebody suggested reluctantly they try the surgery without anesthetic and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically impossible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times when his eyes met hers.
What the?
When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling, assuming this must be something of drastic importance. The surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting.
What?
The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bounds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given. I must remain awake. All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, a former KGB agent, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber, again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, All three stopped struggling the moment it let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point, all three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects said that they could speak. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might.
Right.
First, left, then right, then left again for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brain and all his brain waves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering from brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut at the same moment his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of a deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank in the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well.
God.
He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to a bed, as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you," he screamed at the man strapped to the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." The subject smiled.
Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread.
The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out.
So nearly free.
And that's it.
That's insane, dude. These became humanoids, dude.
Yeah.
15 days, no sleep.
They became
zombies. They were
like
so
animals.
strong. Yeah, like
with no internal organs, with
your guts hanging out, and you're still able to fight.
And they can't get off the gas. Man, if they fall asleep, they die.
And they didn't want to fall asleep.
They didn't want to go to sleep.
What is that?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, they didn't want to go to sleep, man. They apparently whatever happens when you sleep is what kills them.
So they were afraid of sleep.
They were afraid of, whenever they rested.
So they were afraid of what we've become or what they've become. I don't know. That was just,
I guess, his little monologue at the end of, we are what you hide from in your beds every night when you go to bed, when you go to that nocturnal haven.
That's what I'm saying.
The monsters that we could be in our mind unlocks when we don't sleep. Our true selves come out. The monster that lives inside.
Bro.
That was good.
I would hate that, man. I mean,
that was good.
Well, that gives you chills and stuff, dog.
Yeah.
Like, I think it gives me chills because humanity did that to these people.
Yeah, and of course this is a story that they say, some people say it happened, some people say it didn't happen. Some say it's just a creepypasta, just a fake.
I've heard that you can't stay awake more than 3 or 4 days without going to sleep, and then you start going hysterical or whatever.
Yeah, but we don't know what happened back then, man.
Yeah.
What if this is true? Shoot, you never know.
What gas was it, though?
Man, Hitler did some crazy things to his subjects, man. To try to make them into them ultimate fighting machines. Feeding them that he was putting it like in their food and stuff, like what was it, heroin or
Probably.
Like coke, or he was putting drugs.
Right.
He was putting drugs in their food to make them not sleep like that, or to always be ready for war. Man, he was trying to turn them into monsters to take over.
If this is true, he succeeded. You know.
Well, I mean, sadly, well, I say sadly, but they all died, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's.
I would want to die after 15
experiencing
days.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, they went mad. I mean, they went absolutely crazy. It unlocked something in their brain.
That's the true meaning of mad, yeah.
That's crazy, right? That was a good story, man.
I thought I knew about it, but I apparently I didn't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I heard about it, but no, not like that, bro.
Yeah, man. And as you can see, well, like you mentioned earlier, we're wearing our purple ribbons. We got one right on top of the computer.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I believe you got some.
I went by the Crisis Center of the Plains here in Plainview. Trying to find some stuff with Crisis Center of the Plains, Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Resource Center.
Okay.
Here, I talked to a girl named Stephanie, and they have a hotline which is 806-293-7273. They serve Hill County, Floyd, Lamb, Motley, Castro, Swisher, Briscoe, and Hall. And a lot of this stuff, brochures that she gave me, brochures and some bookmarkers and stuff talking about domestic violence, talking about here we are,
right, how
to prevent teen dating violence. Okay, I have the Crisis Center card here. It's 115th East 7th Street, and they have a 24-hour hotline.
Plainview, Texas.
In Plainview, but they serve all these surrounding counties. So go by, and they have plenty of resources, plenty of counselors. As a matter of fact, my daughter was an advocate for, I believe, almost 6 years.
Yeah, and
she told me a lot of stories. No names or nothing like that, but stuff that went on. I also got some pictures that we're going to post maybe on here or maybe on our
Facebook,
website,
our Facebook page.
Yeah. But let me go and start off reading some of this material that I researched. It's pretty wild, man, that the stuff is happening here in Texas, here in Hale County. I went off of TCFV, which is Texas Council on Family Violence, on their website. But before I go on that one, let me just start off by saying October is Domestic Violence Month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Start off, 40% of women have experienced some type of intimate partner violence, whether it's sexual violence, battery, or even a mental.
Mental abuse. It don't always have to be physical.
Right.
It can be mental too.
And I've got some brochures, also some printouts that I got off the website that Stephanie let me have, and it goes off. It's based on relationship, power and control, and equality. The equality is how a relationship is based on, or should be based on.
Right.
And then the power and control is the physical and sexual and mental violence. So, but let me go off and annually about 325,000 pregnant women have faced domestic abuse. Pregnant women are the ones that have experienced the most violence or abuse. That's a lot, man.
It's a lot of women, man.
300 annually, around 325,000,
and then being pregnant on top of that. That's crazy.
And then 18 to 24 and 25 to 34 they're the ones that generally experience the most violence by an intimate partner. We're talking intimate partner, not not just by. It's not random. These are people they know. 18 to 24. It happens to men and women. Yeah, I'll be talking about men, women, the LGBTQ plus, and also what is the other one we're talking about? I'll get to that one. But it's just crazy how much is out there, man. I've got like 4 or 5 pages plus some stuff I'm going to read off my phone here in a minute.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I think it's important, man. It's good, Hunk, because I think a lot of people don't realize, because I guess it's overshadowed by breast cancer.
Well, in October, yes.
Yeah, yes. You know what I mean? The bigger one is the breast cancer awareness.
Right.
And it gets overshadowed. But, man, this is an important topic because there's a lot of women, and like you said, and men too, that are undergoing, like you said, physical and mental abuse. Right. And it goes under the radar or, things of that nature.
And we don't hear about it as much because in our family, we haven't experienced that. My grandkids, my kids, they've never seen that. So they know about it because, you got so many TV shows out there who, SVU, which is a big advocate of this too. But so much happens that is not reported.
Yeah.
Not reported.
Yeah.
On an estimate, a partner leaves an abusive partner 7 times within years, not week after week, but within years before they really leave them for good. But the statistics on some of that stuff is even crazy. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. Of the estimated 4,907 female victims of murder and non-negligent manslaughter reported by law enforcement agencies indicate that 34% were killed by an intimate partner. Out of the 4,000 last year, or not last year, but in the estimated years, out of 4,900, out of 5,000 family violence, 34% were killed by a intimate partner. 6% of those was men. So men are there. They're there too. I believe these stats that I'm reading off are from 2021. The ones I'm going into in a second are from 2023, and those are this has happened all over the United States.
Right.
I'm sure it happens all over the world.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes will be, Texas. And like I said, I'm going to upload some pics, or we are. They have a map on there of every county in Texas, and most of it is purple. What we're looking for is for the whole state to be in purple. Purple meaning there's no deaths in that county. Every county that's highlighted in white, at least one victim.
Yeah, one victim.
Sometimes it's easier to say one female was unalived, murdered, but it's not just women. It's men too.
Right, exactly.
I did read off the hotline number for the 293-7273. That's here in Plainview. In the recent year, 7,600 victims have reached out to a Texas Health and Human Service agency for help.
Wow,
7,600. That's a lot of females. That's a lot of abused people, not females. A lot of people. So what I just read off, that was off of a website that I got from Texas crime or whatever. I should have wrote down exactly where I got that from. But what I'm reading next, which I'm going to finish off with this, is from the Texas Council on Family Violence. Okay, and that's a website that any of us can go to. And as you go through it, it'll show you pictures. It'll show you statistics. So starting off here, we got 2023, which was last year. I believe they do October to October. Okay. So not accurate for sure for that, but I know it's every year the stats change.
Right.
So in 2023 in Texas alone, there was 205 Texans killed by an intimate partner. Okay.
Wow.
64 counties experienced at least one domestic violence homicide. That's 64 counties out of I don't know how many counties we have here in Texas. When Texas is very big, but 64. That's so you already know there's 205 cases in 1 year. 64 counties. So
wow, man.
I mean that's quite a bit. I mean, I don't can't stress enough how important it is for these young, and it's not always young, but as you enter a marriage or you enter a relationship, there's going to be signs, and there's help. Okay, there's help, and as we go along, there'll be more. Like I said, TCFB. That's the website. I don't know why I can't. Texas Council on Family Violence. Okay. Out of those 205, 179 were female victims. 179 females out of the 200 and
wow.
Yeah. 26 were male, and 4 were the LGBTQ plus. Okay, and 16. There was 16 additional deaths of victims from family violence or bystanders. Meaning, I think I read on one that as little as a 3-year-old was killed in the moment of the violence that was happening, whether it was a shooting. And I'll also go in and let you know here in a second. It's not always a gun, you know.
Yeah.
So, but as little as 3, because you know his mother or sister, you know, I don't know, it didn't specify, but 16. That's 16 deaths that should have not have ever occurred. Well, the 204 period.
Yeah, exactly.
16, you know,
like
people are bystanders, just people, you know, maybe a brother stepping in for his sister,
trying to stop him,
or a son, or his mother, you know, that's where, and that's really uncalled for, because I mean, self-control. I know a lot of people don't have self-control, and that's something that we have to work on in society, I think.
Hell yeah, man.
So
sure,
these are the I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 6 counties here. Hidalgo County in Texas alone, there were 6 women killed in Hidalgo County. I believe it's further down south, that one. Right. Then you got Travis County, there were 6 women. Tarrant County, which I believe that's Dallas, is 7 women and 1 male. This was all last year, 2023.
Wow.
Then you got Bexar County, had 13 females and 1 male. Oh, no, Tarrant County's not Dallas, because I got Dallas County right here. There's 22 females and 4 males of domestic violence. And in Harris County, I believe that's Houston, there's 35 and 3 males. You know, so it's happening a lot more than we think. It's just, I don't know what these people are thinking. You know, I understand the relationships go sour or whatever, but you have to move on. That's how I feel.
Right.
You know,
right.
As a man.
I think a lot of it falls back to like what you were saying earlier. It's about that control thing.
Right.
You know, some people either want control over somebody or, you know, and by any means, that's what they're going to do.
And you know what? Let me go ahead and read some of this stuff. This one here is power and control. You know, coercion or threats. What we're talking about, you know, power and control. Making or carrying out or making and or carrying out threats to do something to harm you, threatening to leave you, to commit suicide. Some of these people will be like, if you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. We hear that all the time. So these victims are like, I don't want that to happen, and they stay with this person. You know, intimidation. You got intimidation, making you afraid by using looks. I mean, there's some men and women who can look at you and be like, I want to touch that man, you know, because that's a scary look. Sometimes, you know, I think we've all been to a point where we get so angry that that our whole face changes, because we're so angry. I'm not saying that's the case with these men or women that kill their partner, but I would think it is.
Right.
You hear all the time men punching walls, breaking glass, destroying their house.
Yeah.
I would rather hear about that than them killing their partner. But it escalates,
Right. And a lot of that falls back to, I think, us as men have to realize that we can't ignore our mental health.
We can't.
Because a lot of men, they refuse to seek out help. And I don't know if it's a pride thing. I think one time, I don't know which episode it was, but we had spoke about maybe it's a Hispanic thing, like a culture thing with us.
Right.
We're too macho or whatever to express feelings.
Exactly.
But man, you got to get help if you need help. I know some people who struggle with anger issues.
Right.
And it's not okay. You know what I mean? Like it's not one of those, I just deal with it or whatever. And no, because sometimes it could get out of control. And that's when most of these situations happen.
You see a lot of videos, TikToks, YouTube, where women are talking about men who know what men are going through. You hear about men coming home, sitting outside in their car for 15, 20, 30 minutes, trying to
just unwind.
Release that pressure that was built up during their work, or leaving in the morning. Their spouse didn't get up to make breakfast, or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever
they're
the case
upset.
may be.
They leave to work upset. If they don't unwind, they come home and take it out on their spouse or children. Yeah. I think I heard once is the scariest words a man can tell you is "I'm okay." Yeah. And I myself have that. I may be going through something, and I have gone through some things, and they'll be like, "Are you okay? Something wrong?" No, I'm okay.
No, I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah. Knowing that I'm broke.
Yeah, you're broken inside.
I'm broken, man. I lost a daughter almost 2 years ago to this month.
That's
you know that, your cousin.
Yeah.
And after my initial depression went away and I snapped out of it, I was still hurting. I'm still hurting to this day.
For sure.
But I'm okay.
Yeah.
But those are the scariest words a man can say to his intimate partner instead of opening up and saying, no, I'm not okay.
Exactly.
I'm going through this. But then again, you have those women who will ridicule a man for opening up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't want no weak man or, this and that. And it works both ways.
Right.
If a man is willing to unwind to you or to let their emotions out, and you can't make that man feel less than. Because to me,
he already feels low himself.
Yeah.
And then you bring him down even more by telling him you're weak because you're opening to your emotions. We were built on emotions. We have emotions.
Man.
I'm not saying we can't cry. I try not to, but
let it out, man.
You have to.
You gotta let it out, man.
You can't let your anger, your envy, your jealousy,
take over you.
Yeah, it weighs you down.
Yeah, I have a man, that's good because I have a saying that I tell a lot of people at work because, as you know, I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues, and I was, since a kid, I was diagnosed with ADHD,
right, and
I didn't realize how that was going to affect me as an adult, and I struggled with a lot of anger issues, I struggled with a lot of those kind of things, with depression, with suicidal thoughts and things like that, but as time has progressed, and now that I'm getting older, I have kids of my own, I realize, man, I got to handle these things differently. I got to cope with them differently.
You have to cope.
Yeah,
that's the word, cope.
Yeah.
You have to go to work, come back, and leave everything at the door. I was told as a young guy, leave everything at the door, because you bring it in, you're going to explode.
Yeah. Or even, but if you do bring them in, like you said, it's good if you have a significant other to be able to share that, man. Just express that, because it's a lot better. Kevin Gates, one of my favorite rappers,
right?
He has a good saying. He says, it's how does he say? He says, being vulnerable is what really makes you strong.
Right.
And to me, I feel like that's so true because, man, if I'm vulnerable with my wife and I tell her exactly like, look, babe, this is
This is what I'm going
I had a
through.
rough day, man, and this at work, my boss, this. I feel like
coworker,
my coworker, or man, these bills, and I feel like I could do more as a father, or this,
I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, or I'm not doing enough.
Sorry, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, man, when
that word right there, I'm sorry, to a female, sometimes I think is a sign of weakness.
Yeah, you would feel like that, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you got to think, man, with you expressing that side of you, man, and it depends on the spouse or the partner you have.
Right.
That, man, you breaking yourself down in front of them, they can rebuild you back. Right. And that's what makes a relationship strong.
That's what exactly.
And that's why I feel like goes wrong with a lot of these domestic violence cases where you have a man bottling up his emotions, not expressing himself. Right. Then you got the woman who's on edge, on eggshells,
right.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, well, she's on edge. She's like, when's he gonna blow? When's he gonna explode?
Yeah,
I don't want to be here. But then she takes the blunt force and never does nothing about it. She still stays there.
And all this can be
the man or the female be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I can understand the first time, and I really can't understand the first time. But it happens once, it's going to happen again.
Yeah. I mean, we're creatures of habit.
Right.
You know what I mean? We usually do things habitually.
If you're used for your wife just yelling and yelling, that's what it's going to be always until you put a stop. Say, hey, look, you have no reason to talk to me like that. We're in it
Communication.
Together. You're right.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
I know everybody says that. Communication's key, but it's true though,
right.
Man, communication is so key. If you're not talking, you have no idea how to fix nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, that's plain and simple.
The less you talk, the more your head is stirring things up.
Yeah, and
now you're like, what did I do? Or either partner, what did I do? Or what are they going to do? It's either what did I do or what are they going to do?
Because then you start assuming things, or you start making things up in your head. Sometimes, you could be going through something with your spouse, and you could be like, man, you know what? You can start scheming up they must be doing this, they must be doing that. Exactly. But the whole time, you're just not communicating. Right. And if y'all would have some type of understanding.
You went to the store and took 30 minutes. I mean, the line was big or something,
Yeah.
But they're already assuming.
They're just jumping.
You went somewhere else.
Yeah.
But communication. Hey, maybe I'll be right back. Or would you like to go with me? Right. I see that. What gets me is married couples that don't go shopping together. And then they get back and they're like, what took you so long? I mean, go with the man. Go with the female.
Yeah.
That makes me as a man, if I had a wife, I would love for her to go into Walmart.
Yeah, I don't like sending my wife places by herself,
exactly.
Man.
Especially these times.
Yeah, these times.
Right.
Like, aside from just the domestic violence, man, we also got a trafficking problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, I don't like for my wife to be by herself, man, but that's just me. I want to be there with her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Being with your significant other makes you feel proud. Yeah. You and your family, your kids together, it shows I'm a man. I don't know if I want to say that or not. I'm proud of my family.
Yeah, you're proud of what you've built. This is your
together.
kingdom.
Right.
This is what I've put together. I've pieced together,
Everything that you built your kingdom, show your kingdom.
Yeah.
Don't show your problems. Don't go to Walmart arguing. Wait till y'all are both calm before y'all go to Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you specifically.
For sure. No, but that's good. That's good.
If y'all just got into a heated argument, but y'all need to go to Walmart.
Man, don't do nothing out of anger. Yeah. Man, I've learned that.
Y'all gonna go and don't show your problems to anybody.
Because I mean, every couple's gonna argue.
Right.
You're gonna have times where you're gonna disagree, but I've learned.
The key is communication, right?
Yeah, the communication, and then not doing things out of anger. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've said something to my wife, and then after that, like, damn, I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it.
Maybe not. I should have said it, or I shouldn't have said it like that.
Or I didn't mean it like that, but it
expressions come out.
Yeah, it came out like that because I'm mad.
Right.
And then now you gotta apologize. You know what I mean? But
and as a man, you don't want to because
of that pride.
That pride. Yeah. But
man, you gotta learn to lay that pride to the side, man.
If we want our relationships to work, we have to communicate and no pride. I mean, yeah, you're still a man. Just because you break down in front of your spouse doesn't make you less of a man.
No, it doesn't make you less than
what it's going to show is that your spouse that, hey, I need help. She's there to back you up. Yeah. So what happens after that? It gets easier and it gets better. Yeah. Your relationship builds instead of crumbles.
Exactly, man.
You're building a house. If you're hiding stuff, you're building a house of straw.
Right.
But when you communicate and you build together, I believe you're building a house of brick.
I believe that too.
You know,
I believe that. And that's a good expression because, I mean, brick by brick, man, you're building that house. I mean, you're laying the foundation. Yeah, you're laying that foundation. You're, here little by little, man, you're building up your kingdom, man. And that's good. And I feel like maybe if couples were to think like that more, it maybe could de-escalate some of this domestic violence. Right. And it's a shame, man, because that's a lot of women, and like you said, it is men,
and I've got the majority is women. About, but I do enjoy this little conversation, banter, because you had a lot of good insight, man. Because you're a married man, and you're building your foundation, and it's strong. I know it's strong. Yeah. I come here every other day, and
I appreciate that.
You and Lydia are doing good things.
Yeah,
I do feel y'all were meant for each other.
I got a good wife, man. Yeah. That's a big blessing. Yeah. That's and that's a rare occasion that you actually find somebody that you mesh with, and that you're willing to build something with. Because I'm not gonna lie, and there's no hate on no generation, but these younger kids, man. I mean, I know I'm young. I just got an old soul. You know what I'm saying? Right. But that's why I click with people who are older than me. But it's just that these younger kids, I feel like this generation is a little bit.
There's no communication. Yeah, there's no communication because of the laptop,
because of the social media. Yeah,
they have no. What is that word? Social.
Like their social interaction isn't good, man, because everybody's so glued to their phones.
All I hear now is the biggest word I hear now is social anxiety. I never heard that word before. Yeah. Man, social anxiety, yeah. Meaning you can't be around people. Who raised you, or why were you raised that way? I know my grandkids are up. They got their sports, their phones, everything. But who made up this word, social anxiety?
I mean, it's just, to me,
I know what it is.
I think it's a real thing for me, or not. Well, I say for me, but I'm just saying, like in general, to me, it's a real thing because social media has created this facade of a life that you're supposed to be up here. Right. I said it in, I think, episode 1, man, like Instagram, Snapchat, man. This is people's highlight reels. Right. This is when they're up here, man.
When they're going out doing things right. And then, what is that?
They were like a filter.
I couldn't think of the word. Everything is filtered now.
Yeah, man.
That's not the real you.
It's not, man.
That's why you have social anxiety. Because you have, like I said, this persona of how gorgeous you are, or how exciting you are, or how your group, how big a group you have, a following. But when you're out in the real world, there's no filter.
Exactly.
You are who you are.
Man, that's true, huh? That's true.
Right. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that these people hide behind a filter. And
that's the problem. And I think maybe that even influences a lot of this, man. Like what you got today, this domestic violence. I mean, it's people are living these fake lives, and you don't know what their real life is in behind closed doors.
Exactly.
And that's the problem with social media.
Right. Let me go on and let me go off these notes real quick, nephew. Out of those 200 and whatever I said were unalived here in Texas.
Right.
125 women and 13 men were unalived by a firearm.
Wow, man.
And then out of those, 21 women and 8 men were stabbed.
Dang.
They were stabbed, 9 women and 1 man. I think this is probably the worst one. I'm not saying, I think it's worse. They were assaulted to their death. That's being beat until you're unalived. So you stop breathing. So 9 women and one man. 11 women were strangled. The youngest female unalived in Texas last year by a domestic partner or by an intimate partner was 15.
Wow.
Check this out, though. This is what gets me. The oldest that was unalived by her intimate partner, I won't say her because this is a female, was 88 years old.
Golly.
I don't even have the words for that, dude.
Wow.
88?
That's crazy.
That's just insane to me. And on the men, the youngest male unalived by intimate partner was 18. And this is crazy too. The oldest man was 66.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just insane. Out of those, 66 women were unalived by their boyfriend, 83 by a husband, 24 by an ex-boyfriend, 5 by an ex-husband. Out of the men unalived, 5 were murdered by their wife, and 3 by an ex-girlfriend. That's just crazy that ex, that's insane. Which is stalkers. We hadn't even mentioned stalking, and that's what happens to a lot of these ex
right
boyfriend and girlfriend.
And maybe they do get away, but then they're followed or stopped.
They finally move out, and that's where the Crisis of the Plains here in Plainview helps a lot of these women. I know that they do have a safe house where they stay. They're provided shelter, food, anything they need
that's good, man.
for them and their children.
That's awesome.
Until they can get back on their feet, which they look for jobs for them. They help them with whatever they can.
Hey, man, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
But what is also sad is sometimes they decide to leave and go back with their spouse. Of all those victims that were assaulted and unalived, 92 were already separated. 49 had already sought help. They were already at a crisis center.
Right.
52% of these people that were unalived had taken steps to leave their abuser, right? And 72% of the 72% of the 200 and whatever were unalived here in Texas was at home.
Wow.
So it's domestic at the house,
Yeah, it's happening at home.
Yeah. Let me get my phone and I'm gonna read some things off from that website that I was telling y'all about. This is the state of Texas. All counties in purple there's no deaths. So this right here is a list of the 64 counties here in Texas that at least one domestic violence homicide occurred in 2023. In Hill County, there was no homicide last year. Okay, there has been in the past, but I believe the closest one that happened last year was in Lubbock, Texas, right down the street from us. Her name was LaCara Moore. She was 18 years old. She was unalived by her boyfriend. He admitted he shot her, admitted unaliving her, and after leaving the party, and ended up shooting himself. That's pretty crazy, man. I just let me go off on this. It's called Purple Thursday. Show your true colors. Purple Thursday or Gold Purple Day is National Day of Action each October during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Everyone is encouraged to wear all things purple as a symbol of peace, courage, survival, honor, personal dedication to domestic violence awareness. October 17th is this Thursday coming up, I believe.
Okay.
Is the Awareness Day, where state, country is ask you to wear purple and stand up against family violence day.
Oh, that's awesome.
October 3rd, October 17th.
Yep, October 17th.
Yeah. So
domestic violence.
Make sure you're wearing your purple that day. I'm thinking, since you got your decorations, you could use a purple light outside to show.
Yeah, we'll probably post pictures on social media.
Right. I've got these also too. Let me. Yeah. See, all this stuff is what I was reading.
Wow.
It's quite a bit, man. I'm gonna cut it short. There's a lot of things to go over. There's so much so much to soak in, and I just think that if we're aware,
right.
I do know there's a project out there for the kids who are taught to look for the signs. I didn't find it. I should have asked my daughter. Or I should have asked Stephanie at the crisis center. But anything that I have that I've showed you on here that I've read off of, this purple bag right here, comes with a lot of information. This is in particular, I think, is controlling, stalking, jealousy, when you get hit, possession, yelling, power, anger, rape, intimidate, and abuse. That's preventing dating violence. And it has they have a Facebook page. It just has so much information that men and women who are going through something right now.
Right.
And you're in the area, Lamb County, Hale County. Stop by and visit these young ladies and men who are advocates for abuse like this, and get help. It's easier just to say, give me some help.
Definitely. If you're going through something, reach out, because there's help out there for you.
Right.
Don't feel like you're alone. There's help out there that will help you get through this.
Right.
Like you said, the hotline, we'll put the number up.
Right.
Especially like if you're in this area locally with us or anywhere in your local town. I mean, do your research, go on to Google, look up your local areas that will help y'all if y'all have any type of domestic violence, or if you're seeing any signs. If you see something, say something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Don't be afraid, and God bless all of y'all who are listening. God bless the victims. I'm gonna post some pictures on here on our website of the silhouettes, and I believe it's how many did I have?
There was
7.
Or
seven.
Oh, okay.
There were 7, I believe, in the area like Dimmitt, close by. Women who in the past years have been unalived by their spouse. I know in the past, I think it was like since 2004. I think there's been two homicides here in Plainview.
Wow.
One of them I knew very well. She was a sweet person. Rest in peace. But reach out. Don't take the abuse. Reach out to somebody.
Definitely.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for sharing that.
That
was good. That was good, man. And it's good for the audience, man, just to know that sometimes they just need to know they're not alone.
Right.
And there is help
if you need help. Yeah.
And so we'll put everything up on the the numbers as the video goes. We'll leave the numbers for the hotline, and if y'all need anything, even if y'all don't want to reach out to them, if y'all feel safe to reach out to us,
right?
Our emails in our bio, and y'all let us know if y'all need anything. We can connect you to the right people,
right,
and get you the help that you need.
I know pretty much all of them that can help here in
definitely
here in Plainview.
Man, well, that's awesome, Monk. Thank you, man. I appreciate that for the story.
I enjoyed it.
For letting us know,
right.
And just get that awareness out there. So y'all be safe, and
yeah, we'll also put some of the stuff I talked about.
Yeah, for sure. The domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Yeah, we're going to make sure to put up the hotlines. And then on our Facebook page, if y'all go follow us, Late Night Conversations with Unc and Nephew, we'll put a lot of his domestic violence awareness things up that y'all can follow, share. And like I said, if you need any help, if there's anything if you're experiencing anything, domestic violence, if you're undergoing any of that, please reach out. Please say something. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right, exactly. I'm looking for that website real quick. The Texas Council on Family Violence, tcfv.org.
tcfv.org.
.org.
Okay.
And you'll be able to find everything I spoke about today. It has graphics on where all the unalive victims from what counties they come from, the statistics of, like I said, the ages, and even the LGBTQ plus victims, because they are victims. I believe there was, and I didn't go through the whole deal. I kind of lost my place at it, and I believe there was 4 that were unalive by.
Yeah, so this is it's affecting. It's not just one specific.
It's not demographic. It's not just one demographic of females only.
Yeah,
it's men, women. Like I said,
it's affecting. Yeah, it's affecting everybody. So that's why we're making it a big point. Like we said, man, if you see something, say something, or if you need help, please reach out.
It affects more than just the victim. The victim and their families are deeply, deeply impacted by this.
Right.
So please reach out. Ask for help.
Definitely.
Help. But we do appreciate everything y'all hanging in there with us, and
thank y'all for rocking with us, man. We appreciate all the support, the likes, the follows that we're getting, and
it's awesome.
It's putting us in a position of where we can start doing a lot more content, and we're learning so much more. Yeah. And so thank y'all for y'all support.
Feedback.
Yeah, the feedback is always good, y'all. Let us know in the comments what y'all think. Tell us what y'all think about this story, man. It's a crazy one. And if there's any stories y'all want to submit them to our email, latenightconversations24@gmail.com, and we'll review them during the podcast. So I think we're good to close out right here, huh?
I enjoyed it, man.
Shoot, it was a good episode.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Heck yeah. And so, man, until next week, y'all stay tuned. Thank y'all so much for all y'all's continued support. And thank y'all for joining the Late Night family.
God bless. Love y'all.
We out.